hey, nice to meet you, give me your money. That's not how a funnel works. A funnel is not optional. I have been lucky enough to work with big billion-dollar brands like Linktree and Kogan and Wayflyer.
Did you go to school specifically for marketing?
Well, all of these touch points in your funnel, they're potential revenue leaks, right?
Where do we actually start if we're going to build a actual lead generation funnel? Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Alicia Conlin-Hurd. If you don't know who Alicia is, she's a funnel expert. She's built more than 500 funnels to convert traffic into high quality leads. She's the co-founder of Persuasion Experience, an agency that helps businesses build funnels. How'd you get into all this funnel craziness? Start wherever you want to start.
For me, a lot of my career started off in sales, cold calling, telco sales, agency sales, right? The stuff that puts hairs onto your chest. And then as I was going through my career, I had finished my degree and I ended up in a company called King Kong in Australia. And I ended up building their sales funnel and conversion rate optimization team from scratch. So by the time I had wrapped up there after a few years, I had done 400 funnels, landing pages and offers. And I'm talking like everything from Brazilian butt lift doctors and porn addiction counselors and quit smoking hypnotists, and then all the way down to the other end of the spectrum, billion-dollar home builders, finance, plumbers, etc., and everything in between. So after that, I went and worked in a company called Founder Magazines. And then at the same time, I was starting this thing called Operation Freedom with my partner. And we started side hustling. And eventually our side hustles overtook our main income, and we shook hands over breakfast and we were like, let's resign today and we'll figure it out. Have been lucky enough to work with big billion-dollar brands like Linktree and Kogan and Wayflyer. And we've launched products like our lead machine offer workshop. We've had about 500 people through there. But what we really specialize in and what we do as an agency is helping service-based companies. So typically these might be a bit boring, right? We don't do e-commerce or the sexy stuff like info products. It's all lead generation. And they want to build a predictable, scalable lead machine so that they can actually convert their traffic and produce high quality leads. But what we really focus on is squeezing out as much juice out of the economics as we can in their funnel and making sure they're getting buyers, not just leads. Okay, cue funnel rant. So I've had this conversation many a times, and what usually happens is that businesses believe that funnels are some Russell Brunson internet marketer thing and it's not for them, right? I understand that. But here's the thing, a funnel is not optional. If you have a business, you have a funnel. It's just all of the touch points that somebody has with your brand. So this funnel already exists, right? And the problem is most people brainwashed to believe more ads, more traffic, that's the way to scale. But you can't scale traffic that doesn't convert. And so all of these touch points in your funnel, they're potential revenue leaks, right? Every little number is a potential revenue leak. And all of these little leaks, they add up to sink big ships. As an example, I just brought on a client this week. We just had the kickoff call this morning. And their opt-in page is at 4.4%. Bad, very bad. But their goal is to add an extra 120K a month. So I showed them by tracking down all the numbers, if we only focused on the opt-in page, assuming that we get the same quality of traffic and everything else remains the same in the funnel. The closes are the same, the show up rates are the same, everything else, and that opt-in page goes to 10%, they will add $160,000 a month based on their current ad spend.
Well, and I'd love to spend a few more minutes on the concept of funnels just for people that don't totally understand it. You made a great case for those that do understand funnels that, hey, optimizing certain parts of your funnel can have a massive mathematical effect, right? Because I'm in agreement with you, it's a math problem, right? Like, you know how many people are coming in and you know all the points if you're tracking your analytics at which they're getting through the various gates, if you will, right? And if you can move more people through the various gates, then you can increase your final output. But help everybody understand at like a business level perspective beyond the mathematics. You know, you said funnels happen no matter what, if you have them or not, but help everybody understand why that's true.
So the way that I think about a funnel, and this very much, it pertains to any company, but I'll especially talk about it in terms of lead generation. I think of a funnel in 3 phases. The first phase is the attract phase. So that's all of the touch points of how you convert attention into a lead. So this might involve your lead magnets, your website, your landing pages, your Google ads. That's all of the interactions somebody has with you up until the moment they become a lead. Now your relationship has shifted and you move into phase 2 of what we call our PX funnel, which is the convert phase. Now the convert phase is my favorite. This is the sales choreography of how you convert a lead into a sale. Multiple touch points. You should have all of these mapped out. And then it brings us to the third point of the funnel, which is ascend. So how do you make the most out of every single customer that comes in? A customer is a hard fought asset, right, that you want to leverage. And so a lot of people are so obsessed with getting more leads, more traffic, more leads. But in the ascend phase, we focus on how do we increase the LTV, the lifetime value of your clients? How do we get referrals? How do we give them an amazing onboarding experience? And we think about that. When you think about your funnel, because it's going to be shifting some people's perceptions of what a funnel is, right? It's not some internet marketer scammy thing that you see on like scary Facebook ads. You have one, and there's the attract phase. How do you convert attention into a lead who wants to talk to you on the phone? And then there's the ascend phase. How do we give clients their best experience? You should map out every single day for the first month. Then how do you 2x, 3x their value? How do you turn them into referrals and case studies?
We're going to dig in now into a part of your process. Where do we actually start if we're going to build a actual lead generation funnel?
We're going to start in the attract phase. We're going to be focusing on a lead generation funnel, right? Once we have this working, it's going to increase your conversion rate for your traffic. You're going to get high quality leads, not those time sucking, money discounting, annoying kinds of leads nobody wants. And then we're going to be building pipeline. So every month you're not wondering, where's my next lead coming from? Like we're back to zero. So that's what's going to happen in this lead generation part. Now in this funnel, and a funnel just being every single touch point, there's some core touch points in here. And there's 3 core offers you're going to make. Now, what is an offer? So an offer is just the thing you put in somebody to motivate and persuade them to take action. When we create your lead generation funnel, we don't want to create a knockout punch, right? We're not saying, hey, nice to meet you, give me your money. So when it comes to the lead funnel, there's the 3 offers. The first offer is what we call an authority beacon. This is your lead magnet, but done properly. This finds people that are colder temperatures of traffic earlier in the buyer's journey. They're not looking for what you do, but you'll often send social media to this, right? So that brings people into your universe and it creates that pipeline. The second offer that you make is your lead generation offer. This is what gets people on the phone with you. Not everybody's ready to talk to you yet in their stage of the buyer's journey. That's the one that I'm going to unpack today. How to create those offers that actually get people who want to talk to you on the phone. Your third offer, because I'm very big on systems and compartmentalizing, right? The third offer is the sales offer. That's how you package up what you sell. Now, what most people get wrong is, especially in lead generation, they just go to market and put their sales offer in front of everybody. But you have to get a lead before you can get a sale. And that's what most people miss in their lead generation funnel. You start minimum viable and then you build on it. And so we can talk about that. But that's a little bit more about the lead gen funnel. 2
things that we talked about when we were prepping for this is the target market psychology. Let's start with that.
Okay, so this comes down to our marketing equation, our PX marketing equation, which is psychology plus economics times technology, right? For us, marketing is just inputs and outputs, garbage in, garbage out. What a lot of people get wrong is they get obsessed with their tech stack, or they think that AI is going to save them. It's not. AI technology is an accelerator. 1,000 times 0 is still 0. Now, what we need to understand when it comes to psychology is our target market avatar. That's the most important input. So if your marketing feels hard or it's not working, you don't have the right inputs. You don't understand the target market's language and what they actually want, right? What we want to be able to do is unpack and uncover the bullseye of the market. What motivates them? What's their dream outcome in their words? What are their big problems? What have they tried before? Because what we're then going to do is be able to take that information and then turn it into marketing that resonates, messaging that cuts through the noise. And when they read the copy, when they read your marketing, they're going to think, wow, this person can describe my problem even better than I can. It's going to feel like you've ripped a page out of their diary. But what most businesses get wrong is that they either do no research or they hardly any, and it's just garbage in, garbage out, right? So that means your marketing is not going to work because that initial input isn't there.
Now we're going to get into like the first step of actually building the lead generation funnel, and you kind of gave it away. What is the first step? And let's dig into it a little bit.
When it comes to the lead generation funnel, right now, what we're going to really focus on is how to create that offer. The offer is the thing that's going to motivate and persuade someone to take the action and to book in a call with you and to actually become a lead. So the first step of any good marketing should be research. So if we think about the research, I'm going to give you 3 ways to do quick and easy research. It's important because we want to actually understand the target market's language, and then we want to mirror that in our communication. And if we think about this, everyone's going to be screening our marketing communication with so what, who cares, what's in it for me. So if you're talking in your own company's language, jargon, or you're guessing that conversation going on in their mind, well, then your marketing isn't going to land. It's not going to work. So how I think about it is, and why research is so important, is that success leaves clues, right? For a lot of us, though, we find research unsexy and tedious. But what is really sexy is making money. And if we don't get this right, our marketing won't work. So there's 3 ways that you can start doing research today where it's not going to cost you any money. You don't need the budget of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. Number 1 is surveys. And as soon as I say surveys, people cringe and go, they don't work. They do.
I love surveys. I love surveys.
It's like, I feel like I'm cheating when I run them. And so with our surveys, these are conversion surveys. And what do they uncover? They uncover why someone bought. What else had they tried? It uncovers what they were trying to achieve. And my personal favorite question is, how would you explain company X to a friend or colleague? Boom. I know I now have ad angle ideas, split test ideas, landing page headlines straight off the bat.
Okay, so you got me asking a curious question. So these surveys are surveys that you're doing after someone is converted as a customer. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Or are these surveys that you're sending to people that are like on your email list that might not be customers? I'm curious because it was very creative. If after they become a customer, asking them these questions, I'd never thought about that before. I'm not sure if that's where you were going or not.
Yes. So it depends on the size of the company we work with. We always will send out a survey to existing customers. So we send it out and then we distill it down into a survey insights report. So there's the raw data, there's the report. But what happens from here, because this is also an NPS score, right? So there's the qualitative data and then there's NPS. And what we get our clients to do is that anyone's a 9 or a 10, they invite them to testimonial recordings. And now we have a testimonial machine up and running. What we also get them to do, because I want them to send these out quarterly at least, is then they read the feedback on their service offering, they make an action plan, they roll it out for a quarter, they've got a baseline of an NPS score, and then next quarter they come back and they send it out again. And ideally, they have increased the NPS score. So that's how powerful just that system is overall for a company.
Net promoter score, everybody's seen these in their inbox. They might not have used them, but there's typically on a scale of 1 to 10 or something like that, right? How likely would you recommend this to a friend, right? Are you suggesting a simple survey that's simple? Or are you also suggesting more sophisticated surveys? Like, for example, why did you decide to purchase this product? What was the problem you hoped it would solve for you? That kind of stuff?
Exactly. Okay. Yes. And so the NPS score gives us a number and quantitative data tells us what, but not why. And so the biggest objection I get when I talk about these is no one responds to surveys. Well, they do, if you ethically bribe them and give them something to do it. And that is how we do it. We would usually give a winner. Some of our clients give something for all the respondents. And the other thing is it's in the framing of how you ask, because everybody wants to give their opinion. So in the framing of how we ask about the surveys, That's like the dynamic duo of how we get this data.
I love it. And having done a lot of surveys myself, at Social Media Examiner, we'll often bury a little incentive, like after question 3, that says for everyone who completes all the questions in the survey, you will be entered to win a free ticket to Social Media Marketing World. I love surveys. I feel like they're the best, but they're not obviously the only option. So what are the other options?
The second option is, I kind of call it reading people's journals. Like the whole point of this is you want to read people's minds. This is where we do our third-party research. So we go to places like Amazon book reviews. We use the second largest search engine in the world, YouTube. We type in the industry, the niche, the problem. We look at the suggested keywords. We look at the top performing social. We read the comments. What is my personal favorite is reading Amazon book reviews that people leave. We also go through and all of our clients' testimonials. So we scrape those, use AI and do word clouds. We do that for their competitors as well. But that's one way where you can start to see what the target market is saying. And it's free, right? And you should be obsessed with your target market if you want to win. The third one is installing feedback loops in the company. So not many people do this, and they don't have it systematized if they do. And what I mean by feedback loops is that companies have people on the front lines understanding trends, understanding questions, understanding the target market's language and innermost feelings. Those people are your sales team. Those people are your customer support reps. Those people are your account managers and maybe other
your social team probably as well, right?
Yes, your social team and comments. That's a big thing we do, is social listening and reading all of the comments that we get on our ads. So those are the 3 ways to do research: the surveys, the third-party research, and the feedback loops.
I love this. And just to kind of wrap it all up, folks, the reason we do this research is so that we have the language, as we talked about earlier, so that when we write our sales page or lead generation page, we're using the language, or videos or whatever, right? We're using the language that signals to the recipient that these people are for me, they understand me, and that's the setup for obviously the next stage of the process, which is what exactly?
I'm so glad you asked. So the second stage, we're going to talk about the strategy component, right? There's research, there's strategy, there's execution. If you cook your research, then your strategy is not going to work. So the strategies is where we want to create the offer. Now, when we think about the offer, and I want this to be super actionable, so everybody can think about this now. What we're looking to do is put something in front of somebody that's going to be the next logical step, the next micro step to take with us. At the moment, a lot of people might be doing submit a form, chat with sales, get a quote. But someone's going to think, like, look at that and think, so what? Who cares? What's in it for me? And what I find with so many clients is when we create this lead generation offer, the core of your lead generation funnel, is that they're giving all this value on a sales call, but they're not communicating it to get the initial lead. Before I get into the weeds, what I want you to do right now, if you're listening, is think, okay, what value do we already give on this call? What do we send out afterwards? What questions are we answering? What are people looking for? Maybe they are looking for a quote, but they need this as well. Or maybe they're a little bit earlier in the buyer's journey and it's more of a discovery session. That's what I want people to start thinking about. What are the types of leads coming in? What's their temperature? And what's their stage of the buyer's journey? And what we want to do is create a lead generation offer that somebody will take up. It'll persuade and motivate them to take action. And it should show them that they're going to come away from that call better than when they went in. This offer we put in front of people because we want to get a lead, but not everybody should see this offer. So a lead gen offer is, I guess, how it sounds. I'll try not to just paraphrase it though, but you put it in front of people who are actively looking to become a lead. They need to talk to somebody. That's their next step. So that's when you put this type of offer in front of them.
So the lead generation offer is something that's more valuable, that directly solves a problem that a prospect is going through. And typically you're going to get somebody on the phone is what I'm hearing with you, or do a video call or a demo or something along those lines, right?
That's the goal, to feed high quality leads to the sales team. In marketing, you can either be an authority or a commodity. There's no gray area. You're one or the other. And so most businesses are commoditized. They're not very good at authority marketing. But when you use certain persuasion triggers like apply or different words that you understand, then you start to shift the perceived power or the perceived value. And really, you want leads coming to you with the predetermination to work with you. Most people either don't get enough volume of leads or they get really crappy leads, or both. Like the leads they get are crappy. This helps to shift it where someone's like, I want that, I want this. And then they come with a different mindset than like, oh, I'm going on a stinky commission breath sales call where I'm going to be forced into buying something. You've provided value up front. And that's how we shift the perceived benefit with this lead generation offer.
Now, there are some people listening right now that may not have a sales team, and the offer may not be like live with me for 30 minutes. Can this be used in a way where doesn't require someone to get on a call with someone for like a half an hour?
Yeah, and it depends on understanding that next micro step in the journey. So maybe then you should be working on your lead magnet offer, that authority beacon, and that you warm them up before you give them this offer. So I'm founder-led sales, right? I don't have a sales team. I do all of my own sales. I don't want volume. I want people going through my products, my YouTube channel. I want them understanding my language, being pre-qualified before I talk to them. For most high-ticket lead generation, so anything over maybe 500 is not high ticket, but anything maybe over 500, you probably have to have a sales call at some point. You just don't want to talk to all of these people who aren't ready yet. So that's where you make sure that this offer is just going in front of those people who are ready to take the next step.
Let's talk about bonuses and let's talk about valuing the offer or the value in the offer. This is stuff that we had discussed when we were prepping for this.
Yeah, so we've got the name of the offer and now we want to pack like a bit of value into it. So the next thing that you can add to this is what is the tangible thing you might give them. So it's like, apply for your champagne design consultation with Dallas's top remodeling and additions firm. Now, obviously after this sales call, they're going to send some sort of proposal. Now, don't call it, and then after the call, we'll send you a sales proposal. Call it something else because they're probably going to get a lot of value out of it. So it's kind of like a euphemism. What's a euphemism for the name of your proposal? We call it a funnel game plan, like a marketing game plan. And it is custom and bespoke, but spoiler alert, it's my proposal to get you to become a customer. So that's the tangible thing. And that's how they know they're going to come out more valuable than if they don't work with you. Then what you want to do is have a few bullets, maybe just 3 bullets of like, and on this call, here's what you're going to discover. And the good thing is you have already done your research. So you know the dream outcome, you know what we call the big ass problem, the BAP, and you know the other bullseye of the market. Like, you know those 3 things. Then you just reverse engineer those into bullets. You're going to find out, click here. And people are like, wow, I want that. How did you know? That's exactly what I want.
You know, I'm thinking creatively as you're speaking about some of these tangible things that you could potentially provide. Like, for example, it could be like if you're a tech person, it could be like an audit, right? Or it could be like a security audit is going to be one of the things you're going to get if you're like a security person. Or it could be a landscape design, right? If you're a landscape architect, right? After we meet with you, we will provide you a complimentary landscape design, right?
Yes.
Something that is super valuable for the recipient, right? And then during the actual whatever this 30-minute process is, give me some examples of like, just so people can like wrap their head around like how something like this might be positioned. Like if I was meeting with you to do one of these kind of things, what would I hypothetically get?
In terms of what you would get as in the end person, like what would
here's what you're going to discover, right? You said here's what you're going to discover.
Okay, cool. For example, with that home builder, the luxury home builder in Dallas, it's like discover how to build your home on time and on budget, guaranteed. Discover how to stay in your current home but transform it into your dream home. Discover how to blah. And those are like the 3 things.
Discover how to not accidentally hire the wrong contractor and have a serious problem on your hands or not meet production.
Exactly.
Right?
And when we get into we can jump into the 3rd step now if you like, but I can unpack how we Okay. Cue 3rd step. So this is the execution part and making the offer. So with that amazing client that we had, she's called Bill TX. Hello, Yulitzer, if you're listening. We do our research. We do our due diligence. She has a huge following on Instagram. And when we start to survey her customers, it's really interesting. They all liked that they were a female-led company. three friends / sisters have like created this company. It's all female led. What we also start to unpack in our research is the horror stories in this market. Either everyone's experienced one or they have a friend. Like everybody has heard of a horror story. The other core piece of information we uncover in the research is that people don't know what they want yet. They've started creating Pinterest boards, Instagram mood boards, but they haven't figured it out, right? They're not the expert. They have an idea. And so what we noticed in our competitor research was very masculine, very male dominated, and everybody's saying, get a quote, get a quote. But the problem is that's not the next micro step of the target market. How can you get a quote on something that you don't know what you want? Right. What they want is a design consultation. That's where they're at. And we tell them we're going to help you to bring your design to life. We're going to guide you through how to create this. And we called it a champagne design consultation because what we figured out in research is it's mainly women. And so we were kind of tapping into the Selling Sunset TV show kind of vibe, like that excitement of, champagne design consultation. And that's how we came up with that offer, which built a multi-million-dollar pipeline in the first week of launching.
Okay, so this third step is the execution step, right?
Yes.
And you just gave a great example of like how it works with this company in Texas. What are the other parts of this step, right? Like, obviously, I know that we're taking the first part of the step and the second part of the step, which I'm space kidding. Oh, the research. We're taking the research, right? And we're applying the strategy. But now we're in this execution stage, right? And is there any other little stuff that we need to be thinking about, right? Because I know that like this story is a great example, but like, how do you go from just having, a strategy to actually executing?
The most important thing is the speed to market. Only your target market can tell you whether you have $1 million offer. We've heard the story of how we can bring it all together through, research and then the strategy. Now we have it. It has to live somewhere. People need to see it. So the offer goes onto a landing page. You should have one dedicated landing page with one offer for one target market with one call to action. The offer is what they get, the value. The call to action is how they take it up. And usually the most important part of the page, because it will match the temperature of traffic, is the above the fold. And the above the fold is before somebody starts to scroll. 100% of people will see this, and you'll typically give your offer in the above the fold.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what you recommend above the fold. Obviously, on a desktop, you've got a little more real estate than on a mobile device. So assuming we're talking about a desktop situation here, like typically that means a headline, a subhead, and maybe an opening paragraph, right? But what else would you recommend go above the fold in the offer?
So above the fold, in the navigation, in the top left-hand corner, you'll have your logo. In the top right-hand corner, you'll have your phone number if you want to get phone leads, and you'll have the call to action, which might be something like apply for my free strategy session. That's our navigation. Now we have that panel, that above the fold panel. So when we talk about a headline, a really easy thing, a really easy headline people can use, a formula, is what we do and how it benefits you. That's a simple one. We can just do that. And then what you might have is a couple of sentences about the offer. Speak with a specialized finance expert today, and you'll discover the 3 bullets with a call to action. And then under that call to action, under any call to actions, you want to have the friction remover so that people will click it. Now, above the fold, you also might have a video or an image. What I will say is when you're doing the design of your landing page, everything needs to earn its spot on there.
Love it.
Important real estate.
You should test it.
And don't just chuck stuff on because it looks pretty. Yeah, everything is an opportunity to help improve conversions. So that's the overview of how to create a high converting above the fold.
Alicia, I know I speak on behalf of my audience that there's some people that pulled over to the side of the road and started taking notes. And there's other people that are like going to be listening to this again because there's so much amazing stuff that we just barely scratched the surface. So 2 questions. If people want to reach out on the socials, what's your preferred platform for them to connect with you? And secondly, if they want to check out your company and what you do, where do you want to send them?
I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, all under Alicia Conlin-Hurd. We give everything for free. Everything. Deep dive. You tell me what you want to see. I'll make a video on it. And that's how we create a lot of our content. The second way, the next step, what's the next micro step for everybody to take with me? Well, I love making offers. And so I thought today, Mike, we would make something called an Endless Leads gift bundle. So if people head to persuasion persuasionexperience.com/SME. What they're going to get in there is our survey process. So you're going to know exactly, take that and run with it. You can do that today. You're going to get our AI prompts to help you to speed up all of your research. And instead of doing it in hours, you'll do it in minutes. I'm going to give you 5 of our lead generation offer templates. So those ones that I mentioned, you'll just be able to swipe and deploy those. You're going to get a swipe file of all of our high converting landing pages from our clients, 3 landing page video teardowns. If you want to hear more of my Aussie accent in your ear talking about stuff, we've got that for you. And also what we call the pipeline builder funnel strategy. So all of the things I kind of touched on today, if you want to go deeper and have your best year ever, persuasionexperience.com/SME.
Alicia, I hope everybody paid attention to what you just did there because Alicia's really good. She offered an irresistible offer, and be sure to check it out for sure. If not for anything else, just to see how she does what she does. persuasionexperience.com/SME. Alicia Conlin-Hurd, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. We're so much better because of it.
Thank you for having me.